TPS reports. We're back, and guess what? We're all three together.
We did
Justin Clark, Brandon Mullis, and Pat Dixon finally makes it over here. Pat, welcome to the civilized world, I guess.
Yeah, happy to be here. Actually, I would say Steel Creek is more civilized than what we just witnessed when we pulled up.
Oh, that was weird.
Some strange guy on a bike as we pulled up at 10 o'clock at night.
That was kind of weird.
Perfectly normal over here.
So, guys, we got this is going to be a good show. This is going to be a long show, I feel like. We got a lot to talk about. First event of 2024, first points event, which we'll get into as this podcast goes on. We did just have our first event, Irish Q 8-ball.
Oh, man.
On February 10th. We had a full field, 32 players. Pat, me and you went to Irish Q, what was it, about a week before?
Mm-hmm.
So what did you think, man? That was the first time you'd ever been there, correct? Was when we went like that week before?
First time ever.
So what did you think, man? You like it?
Oh, it was great.
Back?
Oh, we're going back.
All right.
Lorette, right?
Yeah.
Lorette.
Yeah.
We're coming back, lady.
I like
Okay?
it.
The place is great.
I like it, absolutely. Brandon, you hadn't been there in like 2 decades?
It was actually, so it was 7 years ago for 5 minutes. Before that, it had been about 5 or 6 years.
Wow.
So it's been a long time. And boy, have they redone it for the better.
Yeah, it's they got some diamond bar boxes in there now. They got new felt on the 9-foot tables, which is what we played on. Only 6 tables, by the way. And we still got done by 11 p.m. after starting at noon. That's impressive, guys.
Can't ask for too much
A
more.
great day.
No, that's impressive. We also had 15 matches on the stream table, which we'll get into. We also did a little pre-show with you two guys. That was pretty fun.
That was fun.
Yeah, we also had like a little post-match interview at the finals with the winner.
Yeah,
Which
Clay.
we'll kind of talk some about him here coming up. I guess first and foremost, let me mention our awesome sponsors, for the first event of 2024. Deadstroke Media, which Pat, that's your thing going on now, buddy.
That's what we do.
Yeah, you're in charge of streaming a lot of things in around Charlotte now.
Let's go.
Absolutely, buddy. We'll be looking. Make sure to follow him on Facebook. See what he's got going on. We were also sponsored by John Patera at Remax Metro Realty. He's actually entered into our next tournament. So.
Oh,
Nice.
Yes.
Good.
Yeah. We also got Inkwell Design, who makes our trophy, and our new T-shirts, by the way, which you can see when you go back and watch our live streams, which you can also order some. We will have some for sale. So y'all got T-shirts. Y'all
Yes.
like them?
We should have
Love
worn
my
them.
shirts.
It was so comfortable.
Yeah, we should have worn. They were
Yeah.
good.
Huge fan.
Yes.
We will on the next
Yeah,
podcast.
that's-
Or at least I will. I know I will.
Yeah.
Best looking guy in the.
Yes.
Yeah,
Bar
shirts
none. Not even close.
Yeah, they are very awesome T-shirts. We were also sponsored by Pool Doctors again, Portico Licensed General Contractors, Paul Harrison Custom Cues, as always, and Alpha Installations, which was Rhett, who played in the tournament, got 25th. I know a little disappointing for Rhett. He's been playing pretty good, done pretty good on Wednesday nights at Smoking Q. And then the last sponsor that we had for this tournament was RJ Ward Crawl Professionals. Robbie Ward came and hung out for a little bit. Brandon, I know you and Robbie are friends.
Good
so,
seeing Robbie.
yeah.
Hadn't seen him in a long time. Glad to see he's doing well.
Yeah, he's doing very good, man. He's got a kid now, so he doesn't really get out much. Pat knows all about that.
Man, as soon as I heard that, I almost fell asleep.
Yeah, absolutely. So, guys, we had some great matches, man. Some very good matches. What do you say we're going to talk about our top 8, though?
Let's talk
We'll
about
go
do
it.
it.
talk about our top 8. We'll start at the bottom, like we always do.
Okay.
So, with the 7th and 8th place finishers, 2 guys that apparently are very consistent here with our tournaments. We had Rico Gonzalez and Alan Profit once again in the money. I feel like we're starting to see them in the money a lot. Rico, I think that's 2 straight cashes for him, I believe. He missed a tournament in the middle. But I think that's 2 straight cashes for him. Alan Profit in the money, that is 2 straight for him. Pat, what do you think, man, about Alan and Rico getting 7th and 8th?
It's fantastic to see, especially for Alan Profit, man. The freaking giant killer. This guy, I don't know what it is, but the tougher the opponent, the better he plays.
I mean, 2 straight tournaments now he's beaten Eddie Little first round.
What is this?
Skunked him.
Yeah, he
Skunked
did.
him.
He beat him 3-0, yeah.
Didn't Eddie call that? Didn't he call that he was going to be out?
Boy, we
too
had a
low?
hard laugh about that, but we had an even harder laugh when it turned out to be true.
Insane.
Yeah. I mean,
He wasn't laughing, but you know, we kind of were.
It is very crazy that that's happened 2 straight tournaments. Brandon, what do you think, man? Alan Profit, a 519 Fargo. That number probably needs to be a little higher, I feel like.
He and I had a pretty good laugh about that before right after the match with Eddie, because I said, "Tell you what, Alan, if you play another 500 Fargo, it's a coin flip. If you play a 700 Fargo, I'm taking here." And I'm a believer now.
Does that also prove, though, like our tournament was a race to 3? I mean,
Yes.
does that prove that anybody can literally, it was alternating break, so that helps too, but anybody can win a race to 3.
They can.
I
It's
feel like
100% proof.
Yes, absolutely.
We've been proving this since the inception of the pool series.
Yes.
Every format, no matter if it's 9-ball or 8-ball, anybody can win any of these tournaments.
Absolutely, and it's what I really love. Rico, though, Rico's been playing really good as well. I know y'all both kind of talked about him some on the pre-show, so good for Rico, man.
Yeah.
Super consistent. I mean, he's been the same way in Masters, been the same way in League, and really any tournament he plays in. You know, he's bringing everything he's got to every event. I love that for him.
Yeah, I wish he would have actually played his last match. He let Jeff Pate go through. I kind of wish. I feel like Rico was on a hot streak there. I think Rico maybe could have pulled off the upset possibly.
He had just taken down Abernathy right before that,
Yeah.
so it was kind of surprising. I mean, I know that there was business there, but on the other side of that, I'm sure part of him wonders if he should have too.
Absolutely, 100%. Let's move on to the 5th and 6th place finishers. These are probably my 2 favorite people. Just gonna go ahead and say 5th and 6th was Justin Clark and Jeff Pate.
Who's the first one?
Justin Clark.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
both of them back in the money. Both guys missed the money in the last event at Rackham, so I think it was good to see both of them in the money. I think Jeff for sure definitely belongs in the top 8 of any event that he plays in. So Brandon, what do you think, man? Justin and Jeff?
Well, Justin had Jeff he went into the losers bracket right off the gate
Yeah.
and then just grinded all the way until he ran into his, I'm trying to remember who, Hank. It was
Hank Powell.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh,
So, and you, Justin, you're just a grinder, period. I know you're going to bring it every time. Your Calcutta bid always says you're going to bring it. No shocker that you got there. We watched you a number of times. You played
Yeah.
some really strong pool.
Yeah, I had 3 matches on the TV table. It's fun being in charge. I get to
Absolutely.
kinda-
Hey, perks of the job.
But yeah, Jeff lost first round to David Anderson. Kind of bad. I think it was 3-0. So,
Quickly.
yeah. Pat, what do you think about Justin and Jeff finishing 5th, 6th?
one's better than the other. I won't say who
100%.
specifically.
I agree with that completely. Yes.
But nah, man, it's just like you said. It was shocking to see both of you not make the money last time, and so for the fact that both of you did, it wasn't how do you say? It wasn't a surprise, but it was nice to see, right? It's nice to see you
absolutely.
playing very, very well. You had a tough lineup.
Oh,
You feel like you had a tough route to actually make it up
Oh,
to,
for
to
sure.
6.
Yeah, 100%. It was a tough match after tough match,
Yeah.
really, which we can kind of get into when we talk about the matches on the stream, because
sure.
we're going to talk about a few of all those were my tough matches for sure.
Right.
And to get knocked out by 2 of my good friends kind of felt okay too.
Right. And I'll add this too for Jeff Pate. Not that not to take away from what he did, but definitely going to the loser side immediately
Yeah.
helped him out. Because I think we talked about it in the pre-show. This is definitely, I mean, we say it every time, but because it's true every time, this is the strongest field that we've had.
Yes.
That bottom 25% of the 32-person roster has been the strongest bottom 25% that we've had at the pool series yet.
Absolutely. The strength of this field is getting tougher and tougher for sure. You're starting to see less and less like 400 Fargos play.
Right.
It's creeping up now to where the average Fargo in this tournament now is probably reaching high 500s now. As when we started, it was probably, probably low 500s, maybe even high 400s.
Probably, yeah.
I saw 32 piranha trying to kill each other, and only one can survive.
Absolutely.
It was great.
And you can also see that too, because this was, other than the one pocket tournament we did late last year, this was the highest Calcutta that we had. With tournament and Calcutta, we paid out a total of $3,600, which is very impressive for a one-day event, $50 entry fee. That's pretty strong, I feel
That's
like.
a good day's work.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. But one thing about Jeff that I did notice, though, both matches he lost were 3-0. And then he never won a match 3-0. So it was like he was either winning tough, fought-out battles or he was losing 3-0. That's kind of, it's kind of weird that he would lose both matches 3-0, but it also shows you that there's not much room for error with this kind of format.
That much.
Yes, 0-0. Let's move on to the top 4. This is where we get to the really good players.
The nitty-gritty.
Yes. 4th place was a guy that played in our tournament for the very first time. I told you guys at the start of the day that he should have been a favorite. During the pre-show, go back. I told you he was a favorite. Hank Powell, 4th place finish. Pat, first time seeing Hank. right? You've never seen Hank. You probably didn't even know who he was.
Never. Nothing. I got nothing on the guy.
Well, he is
No
the
read.
he is the best player in Troutman, North Carolina.
Yeah, he is.
But what'd you think about Hank's game? Seeing him play all day and see him get a 4th place finish at Irish Q.
A great surprise.
Yeah.
Strong all day. All day. Very consistent game. Right? Doesn't make too many mistakes. Punishes very well. If you make a mistake, if you miss that ball that you're not supposed to, Hank, he's
Torture you.
I don't want to call him Mr. Consistent because I feel like there's another player that we're going to talk about that I feel deserves that title right now. But seeing Hank's game, it's almost like a. I said before that Jeff Pate doesn't do anything exciting.
Yeah. Oh, Hank doesn't either.
He doesn't either,
No,
but
yeah.
it's a little bit more noticeable if that's the right descriptor for it.
Yeah.
Hank stands out.
Yes.
Yeah, I think their games are very comparable, I feel like,
Yeah.
honestly. And it was good to see them get matched up. But, Brandon, what do you think about Hank? It's probably the first time you've seen Hank in a long time.
Long time.
Yeah.
I haven't seen Hank in probably 7-8 years, honestly.
But he's been around, though. Like,
Oh, yeah.
Don't let him fool you. Yeah, he's been winning tournaments around the state.
The thing I love the most is after his match with Pate, he did an interview with Pat and I. And the thing that just blew my mind was they said he was nervous the entire time.
Yeah.
Well, he didn't shoot like he was nervous. I mean, he was methodical. He didn't try to do too much. It wasn't hero pool. You know, he didn't play a lot of safes because he could see out, but he was really on the ball that day. And great player, even better person. You talk to him, he's a super, super genuine guy.
Oh,
and
yeah,
I
super
couldn't
nice
be
guy.
happier for him. And Hank, when you watch, I hope you play as many events as possible. We'd love to have you back.
See you at Smoking Q, Hank.
Please.
Yeah,
do.
he's sadly he's not on the list yet. He works like some weekends, so
Really?
it's hard to get it on his schedule. Plus, I think he has a kid who's in college and plays sports. So yeah, I think pool is like 5th or 6th on his list of like things to do. But
I mean, he may need to change some things. Then.
I mean, honestly, yeah, he's another player where if he played more, I feel like he would definitely be winning a lot more. I mean, he would be a consistent top 4 player in our tournament.
Secret's out on him.
Yeah,
that's for sure.
I tried to tell y'all. Y'all don't ever listen to me. Pat, I told you about Liz Taylor. You didn't listen. Now I'll tell you about Hank Powell. You don't listen. Who got Hank in the Calcutta here?
Pate did.
Hey, for how much? Was it a lot?
$40, I'm gonna guess.
He went more than that.
180?
Yeah, he
Okay,
went
no,
for-
that's not a
okay,
secret.
So now don't blame me for not getting him.
There we
Okay.
go.
All right, let's move on to 3rd place finisher. Possibly the fastest player
Love
in the
this
whole
guy.
tournament. The fastest player in the
Dude.
tournament.
Damn.
The Facebook hero, the Facebook superstar, Larry Hughes, first time playing our tournament, 3rd place finish, runs through the winner's side, loses the hot seat match, and then loses the next match to finish 3rd. Brandon, what'd you think about Larry's game?
For being a super fast player, he was really focused and really concentrated. When he's in a rack, he's in a rack. And he does a great job pocketing the ball, getting position. Now, being a fast player, I think, was what proved fatal in the end for him. But on the other side of that, a player like that can't play slow. They've played like that their entire pool playing life, and it's worked for him. And obviously it did because he had a great showing.
Oh, yeah.
Super, super strong game.
Yeah, and let's oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Oh, well, let's just go back to the pre-show again when Justin said that could be the dark horse.
Yeah.
And again,
This guy, hey, that's why he's the CEO.
literally nobody listened to me because Larry gets himself for 20 in the Calcutta.
That's nuts.
Yeah. I'm telling people need to listen sometimes when I speak up. But Pat,
Smoking Q, I'm gonna listen.
Yeah.
Okay. If you utter anything, I'm buying them.
well, Pat, I'm gonna give you a pass on this one because you probably didn't know Larry as well.
No, I didn't recognize him until we started practicing right before the tournament started.
Yeah.
I was like, "Are you Damn?" And he's like, "Yeah, that's me." It's like I recognize the beard and the hat. And
So you're friends with him on Facebook?
No, I just seen him comment on the pool series.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
I just see his comments all the time.
Yeah, he's definitely a watcher. He watches all of our events, comments a lot, messages me a lot.
Yeah.
Super nice guy.
Funny guy.
Larry is one of my favorite people, honestly, swear to God. And I think I was kind of rooting for him to win. When he got to the hot seat match, I was like, I hope this guy wins this tournament. Like I want a new player to win, and I just want somebody that's really cool like him to win.
Sick of you, Clay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's Larry, great showing. Second place though. Second place finisher. Back to back second place finishes. Mr. David Anderson. I'm starting to think David's not the one. Starting to think Mr. Anderson is not the one. Back-to-back second places. Kind of was breezing through this tournament, by the way. If you go back and look at his tournament, he wins his first 3 rounds 3-0. Then he runs into Justin Clark, who goes hill with him. But David's up 9-0 in this tournament before he finally loses a rack.
How insane is that?
Yeah,
Man didn't lose a rack.
Including beating Jeff Pate first round.
Come on.
Yeah, with an awesome kick shot
Yeah.
on the 8-ball, which you can already see on
I
our
saw
YouTube.
that. That was
Yeah.
incredible.
Yeah.
David Anderson is just one of those guys where you just know he's gonna be there at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Like he's almost a foregone conclusion. I mean, watching him play is just a privilege. I've watched David for a long time, not as closely as Justin has, but I mean, just watching him is an absolute privilege, and he proved it like he will all year.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, Pat, what do you think about David? He's already confirmed to play in our next event. Are you starting to see why we kind of talked him up early on when he came and played for the first time and you didn't know who he was really?
1,000%.
Yeah.
1,000%. I hope I get to play him. I really do. I think I actually predicted that
You
he
did.
was going. I called him winning it, and I think I called Clay second. I said that they would be the finals.
You
But
had Eddie as second.
Oh, did I have Eddie
Yeah.
Little second?
Yeah.
Oh, never mind. Eddie Little. This is for you, man. I had Eddie Little second. So never mind. I guess what did I have Clay? Did I have Clay third?
You had Clay third.
Oh, okay. Never mind. All right. I'm not a savant like Justin Clark is for calling stuff, evidently. But man, I learn something every time I get a chance to watch David Anderson play, and I disagree with you wholeheartedly. He is the one.
Yeah, I mean I hope he wins a trophy. I want to give him a trophy.
It's coming.
I'm gonna. You know what? It's
Don't
gonna
say it.
happen.
Don't-
Yeah, no,
don't-
no.
don't say it.
I feel good about it.
Okay.
I feel good about it.
Okay.
He's not. Well, I mean, no, this year.
Okay.
I'm not gonna.
Are you gonna say
Smoking
Schmokey?
Q and 10 ball is a harder tournament. Not saying he can't do it. Nothing would shock me if he did. However, it's gonna happen.
100%.
He's gonna get. He might even get 2 trophies.
At
Oh, yeah.
least, man. I wonder if do you think he has a mental block when it comes to
No.
I think he has a mental block.
Clay?
Yeah, I think he has a mental block when it comes to facing the guy who won, who we're ready to talk about, and that is Mr. Clayton Davis, back-to-back
guy.
winners.
That dude.
Yeah, back-to-back winner. Loses one match though. Did not go undefeated. Had to come from the loser side. Lost to Larry Hughes.
How
And-
nuts is that?
So Clay wins 8 of 9 matches that he played in this tournament. 5 of them go hill. Very easily could have lost. That shows how mentally tough he is. So let's just go ahead and hear it, man. Let's just go ahead and talk about how great Clay's playing right now. Brandon, what do you think, man? Back-to-back full series championships
Well,
for him.
I'm gonna go toot on my horn because in the pre-show, who did I pick to win this whole thing?
Yeah,
picked him.
you did pick Clay.
Now my second place finisher did not get in the money,
No.
but that's okay.
No, yeah.
Yeah, it happens to a lot of people that day. When you get into a race to 3, race to 4, whatever short race there is, I trust him more than anybody in the field.
Mm,
When it comes to playing pressure pool, that's the guy I'm going to pick.
mm.
I'm going to pick him every tourney. If it's a race to 7, race to 9, who knows? But if it's a race to 2 or a race to 3, I'm picking him.
Yeah.
Unless you have a 750 Fargo decides to show up, I'm picking Clay.
Yeah, the best way to beat Clay, I think, is in a long race. I think short races, he's got it figured out. For sure. What do you think about him?
That's a weird take. I would think that in a longer race he would be even more favored because of his skill level and
Yeah.
the way that he can move around the table, being not only a good rotational game player but a great one pocket player too.
The reason I say that is because it's hard to actually get that comfortable in a race to 3.
Mm.
And when you have a guy who you just know is going to get, who is a 95% favorite to get out of any rack where every ball has a pocket, that's the guy I'm picking.
Mm.
You know, because honest to goodness, yes, Clay won, but I had 2 legitimate opportunities to where I could have taken him.
Mm.
And I'm not the only one. There's a few other guys out there right in his path that could say the same exact thing.
Yeah.
That's why I say that.
Yeah, I mean, he had 5 matches go hill.
Yes.
Yeah,
That's
I mean,
crazy.
that's kind of unbelievable, really, when you think about it. To win 5 matches hill in one tournament is pretty crazy. I mean, he beat Saul LeBlanc hill first round. He does lose a hill match to Larry Hughes.
Mhm.
Okay, then he wins hill against Alan Profit.
Whew, Allen almost
Yeah.
took out Clay.
Yeah.
Golly, if Allen would have taken out Clay and Eddie Little in the same tournament, bro.
Mhm.
Yeah, then he goes Then Hill against me. He wins Hill against me, and then Hill against David. I mean, the odds, it's impressive that he was
That's
able.
why I trust him.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's impressive that he was able to get out the last rack of all those games, but it also shows you his mental toughness. Like, that's what, and maybe we just don't have that mental toughness to make that shot against him to win, whereas he has that mental toughness to win that game against who he's playing.
Oh, I can firmly attest to that. I missed I don't want to say a dead 8, but an easy enough 8 that I should have made right in the side that would have put it to Hill.
Mm-hmm.
And then a final rack, you never know what's going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, that's why I trust him. He makes the shots where others don't.
I mean, our match went 5 games, and I think if you were keeping score like they do in APA with the innings or whatever, I think we had 2 innings.
Oh, I bet.
I mean, in the whole match. I mean, the last game was really the only game where we both shot, other than the break. The last game was the only one where we both shot. So, it's very impressive. Y'all will like to know, though, Clay will not be there for Smoking Q.
What?
That hurts my feelings.
Why not?
He's going to be in, his BCA team is going to be in Vegas winning the championship.
That is right.
BCA.
Yeah. He's a team player.
All right, Mr. Anderson, if this was an opportunity, I don't know what else to tell you.
So, let's go back to the pre-show for a second here. Y'all wrote down y'all's picks.
Mm-hmm.
I wrote them down here to see how y'all did.
Okay.
Which next time we need to write down mine as well. I'd like to write down mine
Okay.
as well. So
We should do a point series for that, too.
Oh, yeah. Little mini points
Winner
here
gets
between us.
$20 gift card at the end of the year.
Deal.
Wherever.
That's what we're going to do.
all right, so Brandon, you correctly picked 4 people in the money. You correctly picked 4. You had 2 people in the correct spot,
Oh, wow.
with Clay as the winner and Rico as 7th.
Wow.
Okay.
Yes, and then you also correctly picked me and Jeff 8th.
Mm-hmm.
The ones that you did not pick correctly are good choices, though. Jeff Abernathy, Eddie Little, Jason Blackwell, and you, Brandon Willis. Yes.
I knocked on the door, though.
Yes.
You were right
I did
there.
knock
Well,
on the
You
door.
were right there.
You and Jeff were both. You and Abernathy were both 1 away.
Mhm.
So both you guys picked Jason Blackwell for 5th, 6th.
Mhm.
By the way, I thought that was pretty impressive.
We were still right on that high from last tournament.
Yeah, which Jason, I'm surprised Jason wasn't there. Pat, you also picked 4 people correctly though, so good job, guys. You had David Anderson, Clay,
Okay.
me, and Jeff Pate.
Nice.
The 4 that you missed out on were Eddie Little, Jason Blackwell, Brandon Mullis, and Pat Dixon.
Dog.
Yeah.
We'll talk about it.
Yeah, so that was a good little segue now to go ahead and talk about our tournament. You want to get into what we did?
Absolutely.
I'm going to start from the bottom and work our way up, just like we do with the top finisher. So we're going to start with Pat. Finished 13th. You went 2-2. You lost 3-1 to Nate Frank.
I shouldn't have lost that, but I deserved it.
Okay. You beat the legend Eddie Little Hill. Upset of the tournament, possibly.
I think so.
Yes.
There was a moment there
Very-
that we'll talk about, but
Yeah, we'll talk about it in just a second. Let me
Yeah.
run through your other 2 matches. You then beat Randy Zegert 3-2,
Mhm.
and then you lose to Brandon Mullis 3-0. I mean, I gotta say that's honestly. I mean, those are good matches. To win 2 of those matches is actually impressive because I feel like at best it's a 50-50 matchup.
Mhm.
I don't think you're heavily favored in any of those games. You might slightly be favored in 1 or 2 of them, but like I said, coin flip possibly. And then one of them, I feel like you were kind of a big underdog. So
yeah.
I think to go 2-2, you should be happy with that, man. I don't know
Oh.
how you feel about that.
I felt great about how I played
Good.
pretty much all day. I felt very comfortable. I would say probably the only time I felt uncomfortable was when I was playing Nate
Yeah.
because I was on the phone with my
Yeah.
lady trying to shoot because she's trying to explain all the stuff that I already knew. And I'm like, baby, I gotta go, man. Like I'm shooting a shot right now. I also
And
3-fouled Nate
I was
in 8-ball.
I was going to ignore that.
No,
Yeah.
let's talk about it. I 3-fouled Nate in 8-ball. I was so proud of myself. I come out and said, Nate, you on 2. He was like, what? I'm on 2. I was like, yeah, you on 2. And then I did it again. Like I kept playing defense on this 5 and the 8-ball with like the only 2 balls left on the table. And that's when he came up and he asked y'all like,
Yeah.
are we playing 3 fouls? I was
No,
like,
not
"No,
an
it's
8-ball. No, yeah.
So I learned something. I learned something about 8-ball that day. But I absolutely deserved to lose because of everything. I had no focus.
That happens. And
Absolutely
Nate's
no
a good
focus.
player,
Yeah,
too.
and he was a good player, and he did exactly what he was supposed to do by winning. And then who did I play after that? Randy?
After that, you played Eddie.
I played Eddie next
Yep.
after that.
Yep.
So it
Clutch.
It got to a point.
You finished one round higher than Nate, by the way. You finished 17th. So
Hey,
Yeah.
shout out to Nate. It got to a point. I think did I beat Eddie 3-2?
yeah, it was Hill. Yeah,
It was Hill.
Mhm. He misses the 8 ball Hill, and then you ran out.
Yeah, it was also a point as well where I was down 2-1. And I was frustrated, and he was running out, and then I was getting ready to break down my break cue. Like I loosened it, and I looked, and he was on the 8 ball shooting it into the side pocket. And I said, I feel like he's about to miss this for some reason. And he did.
Wow.
I tightened that shit back up. And I came back and I said, you know what? I remember telling myself, I said, if I'm going to go out, I'm going out on my shield. And I just turned my brain off, and I just started shooting and thinking about position just innately. And I ended up taking it to the hill, and then he missed the 8 ball on that the final rack, and I just like, all right, if I miss, I miss. I don't care, but I'm going to try to make every ball on this table, and it happened that way.
I mean, that's a huge upset because according to the Fargo race, y'all should be playing 7-2.
What's my robustness again? Like 30?
I don't know. I didn't look, but yeah.
But we'll trust. We should trust the Fargo on this
Yeah.
one. Yeah, that's not too much of an argument there.
No, that's super impressed, man. Super impressed with your performance. I mean, with that draw, I mean, really, and we talked about this earlier. There's no easy draws anymore in these
No.
tournaments. Brandon, what do you think about Pat's 13th place finish?
Oh my gosh, I love every bit of his play that day. I mean, his match with Eddie was just clutch, and then it's like his eyes just got as big as $50 afterwards. I mean, I'm ready to just shout for joy and cheer my boy on. You know, he's one of us, so I'm gonna pull for all 5 of us before Rico included, of course, all of us before anybody. So to see that happen, I mean, I had to compose myself, and then he really carried that into the match with Randy Zegert. I mean, he just kept it going because he's pumped up, he's motivated,
Oh, yeah.
ready to go. You played some good pool, man.
Appreciate it.
You really, really did.
Thank you.
I think
So,
the only other thing I got to say about your performance is, you know, we miss out on getting your live stream on your Facebook page.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would have been nice to be able to go back and watch you beat up on Eddie.
I think I've come to a conclusion that I'm not going to live stream him anymore. If I
That's
do
fine.
get a chance to, I'm just
Yeah.
going to record him and throw him up later. But it was something about this tournament. I made a mental point to not.
That makes sense, yeah.
I didn't.
it worked.
Yeah, I didn't want to. I
It's
just wanted
also
to think
the
about the
best you
game.
played, so maybe it's not smart to do it.
Just throw me
you
on
know?
the TV table. How about that?
Yeah, which we do sometimes.
Yeah.
You've been on there before.
Once. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
And then I played this guy.
Yeah. Which
Okay.
let's go ahead and get into his. Then we can kind of talk.
Yeah,
about
yeah.
y'all's
Then we'll
match.
talk about it.
So Brandon,
Yes, sir.
Brandon, one out of the money, 9th place. Your tournament goes like this: you lose a Jason Blackwell 3-1, a guy that you picked to finish top 8, by the way. Then you beat Rhett Alvarenga 3-0, one of our sponsors, Alpha Installations, by the way. You beat Javier
Olu.
Olu.
Olu?
You beat Javier 3-0. I think that's really impressive, actually.
I owed him.
You beat Pat 3-0. Then you lose to Clay 3-1.
I did not beat Pat 3-0.
It wasn't 3-0?
No, it was.
Okay,
It was, but I did not beat Pat 3-0.
I mean,
we'll discuss that.
honestly, you had a pretty good bracket, really. I mean, the match, the 2 matches that you need to win to get in the money are just the 2 that you lost. Like, to get in the money, you have to beat somebody like Jason Blackwell or somebody like Clay Davis.
Mhm.
And those are just happen to be the 2 matches that you came up short on. But yeah, tell us about your tournament, Brandon.
I thought my play was incredible. I
Yeah.
mean, even my match with Jason jumps right out to a 1-0 lead right off of his break.
Mm.
And then I make one mistake I scratched off of my break against Jason, go down 2-0. He's running out his break in the 3rd rack. I'm like, okay, this is about to be over now. But no, he misses an 8,
Oh, wow.
and I bear down and I run out. We get to game 4. We had he gave me an honest to goodness opportunity to shoot an easy shot, but not that easy of a shot because I had to spin it just enough to miss it.
Mm.
And he made me pay for that. So it puts me in the B side. Didn't lose a game into the B side until I saw Clay. The match with Rhett and the match with Javier were probably 2 of the best matches I've played in months and months.
You were on fire.
I mean, you beat Javier in 18 minutes.
I owed him. He got me when I should have won at Rackham.
Yeah.
And my favorite part about that is I hit a kick shot that might have been, and this is when you just wish there was a camera on the table. I had a kick shot that was harder than the one that Anderson hit on camera.
On the 8.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then I left a tidbit out about that. I broke and ran my final rack.
That's a good way to win.
So Javier's last shot was where he scratched in game 1 into the side, gave me the last ball and the 8, which was shocking. I'd never do that for anybody. And he didn't get up again. He didn't get up, except a break. Except when he broke. That was it.
I remember after the first match, even after the loss against Jason Blackwell, you still were like, I know I just lost, but I'm shooting real good.
Yeah.
Now.
No,
Like,
I
I'm feeling
was.
good.
And I just it's just that 1 or 2 mistakes that just kills you in these events.
Oh, yeah.
And then I played Mr. Dixon over here. The first game, I looked like a champion. And then who needs to explain it, you or me?
Why don't you go and I'll just add
right.
add in some seasoning to the conversation.
I learned a nice trick from you.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
And it's changed my game over the last 4 or 5 months because I'm doing it consistently.
You're welcome, by the way.
Thank
I
you.
don't know what we're talking about, but you're welcome.
Making him shoot it.
Oh, yeah.
I was the world's worst for just handing the rack over to somebody, said, you know what, you're straight in, you're good. You know what, that pocket's a little bit tighter and their arm shakes a little bit more when they see the finish line.
Oh, yeah.
And I did win the first game legitimately. Pat runs out, gets pretty dead nuts on the 8 and misses it.
No.
Leaves me with
Smokes it.
Yeah, as long as you admit it, I'll back you up on that.
Smoked it.
He leaves me with a dead bank, but I still have to make it. Crushed it, drilled it. He didn't make me shoot the 8. It was dead in the pocket.
Hanging.
And in the last game, we both missed some shots. He gets down to the 8. He has a similar shot. Does it again.
Oh,
Smoked it.
Left me with 3 balls on the table. And I found my way out and won the match. I mean, it's like I told him, the score was 3-0. I'm not going to take that much pride in it, but I'm certainly going to take the W.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. I mean,
So
always make people.
always make them shoot it.
Yeah.
And like I said, I hated to do that to my friend over here, but you know, I want to win as bad as he wants to win, as bad as you want to win. So.
Oh, yeah.
And so take that win, go into the match with Clay, which I played well, but Clay just played better. I missed literally 1 or 2 shots. I missed an 8 ball that would have made it hill, and he got out. And wasn't mad about it, a little bit sad about it because it's 1 out of the money. But you know what?
best spot to be.
I lost to the champion.
Yeah.
I lost to my pick.
Yeah.
If I'd have had thousands of bucks in my pocket, I would have outbid Rico and bought him. So, I mean, at the end of the day, plus Clay's my friend, so I'm happy for him too.
Absolutely. I mean,
But at the end of the day, I actually felt like I played really, really well.
You were on fire, dude.
Really,
I mean,
really
it looked
well.
like you were playing really good. Hopefully, maybe in the next tournament, both you guys will go for more than 20 in the.
I hope I don't.
Oh,
No, I
please,
hope I
please
don't.
don't bid on me. I love my
No,
$20
I mean,
bill.
I mean, you don't have to worry about me bidding on it. I want it. But,
Dang.
Love it, love it, love it.
let's go ahead and get into to my tournament.
Let's go.
Here's how mine went.
If we have to.
Yeah, I mean, I wish can we skip it? That'd be cool. So I beat Barry McDonald 3-2. I beat Jesse Draper 3-0. I beat Mackie Lowry 3-1. Lose to David Anderson 2-3. Lose to Clay Davis 2-3. So there we go. I don't know. What do y'all think about my run in this tournament?
I can't say it goes exactly how it's supposed to go. I would still say that between you and Clay and you versus David Anderson, I don't think it's closer than people think.
Oh, yeah.
It's way closer than people think. But you've said it yourself, like you have a tough time playing them, just mentally, because they're your boys.
Oh, yeah.
You know, so that always adds a little extra something, a little bit of a hindrance in your mind when you play them. But to lose against number 1 and number 2, I mean,
Oh,
come
yeah,
on.
no shame, yeah.
Yeah,
I
no
mean,
shame in that at all.
Yeah, and I was shooting at the 8 ball to beat David Hill, so.
There you go. You're right there.
Yeah.
But those first 3 good players, especially that Mackie. I don't think I've ever
Mackie
heard
played
of.
really
Oh,
good.
Maggie's
Yeah.
strong.
I've never
Great
seen
player
Mackie
from-
before, but definitely a
Yeah.
good, solid player. So
Great player from the Hickory area.
yeah, the ones that you won definitely quality, but I'm choosing you over them 10 times out of 10. No disrespect. But yeah, I think your tournament went how it was supposed to go.
Yeah, I
But
think
you could have you had a chance to make another jump up there to get a little
Yeah.
bit higher, but no shame.
yeah, exactly what I told Brandon. I think exactly what I said about Brandon's tournament. I think the two matches I needed to win to kind of finish higher is the ones that I lost.
Yeah.
They just came at later in the tournament than when Brandon's two matches did. So yeah, I think overall though, great tournament. I felt like I played good. It was a lot of fun, and that's how I always judge is how much fun I have. So
Absolutely.
yeah, let's mention some people that didn't make the money really quick. 3 people that I was surprised by, and then I'll see if y'all agree or disagree with this. First off, Eddie Little, 2 and out.
Oh.
Very shocking. Second person on my list, Jeff Abernathy,
Mm-hmm.
finished 1 out of the money. And I'm gonna throw maybe a surprise to y'all, but I kind of just had a feeling maybe this person would get to the money. And Lisa Cassette, who finished 17th.
Mm.
If I had to pick 3 people to make the money that didn't, those would have been the 3. Brandon, what do you think about those 3? Do you have somebody else maybe that you would throw into that list instead of one of them, or what?
And I love Lisa's game. She's a good player.
Yeah.
But Blackwell,
Yeah.
he actually finished lower than I did, and he beat me first round. So
Yeah.
it was kind of he lost to Mackey. I think he lost to Hank, and he lost to Mackey, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. So, Blackwell is one. If I had to, honest to goodness, had to throw somebody up there.
Oh no, Jason lost to Jeff Pate.
Oh, he lost
Yeah.
to Jeff. Okay.
Who were your 3?
My 3 was Eddie Little, Jeff Abernathy, and Lisa Cassette.
Little Abernathy and Lisa
Yeah,
Cassette? Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah. And Brandon, I think, was saying Eddie Little, Jeff Abernathy,
And Jason Blackwell.
Yeah. Is there anybody else that we're leaving off, Pat, or do you think that we just named, I'm not to say there's not other players in this tournament that are worthy of making the money, but is there one that just kind of sticks out where you're like, I'm really shocked that this person wasn't up there?
Eddie Little, man.
Yeah, which we
Yeah,
already said.
I mean, outside of the ones that we've already said, if I
Yeah.
have to pick like the biggest,
Yeah.
the sore thumb out there, it's him.
Yeah, I mean that's 2 straight tournaments where he hasn't cashed, and this time going 2 and out was. I hope he practices up a little bit. I'm not gonna lie.
Do you think it was deflating for him once he found out that Joey Fox wasn't going to be there? You think that took a little bit off?
Probably.
I do.
Yeah.
I think
Sure.
it
Probably
did.
for sure.
When he walked in, the first thing I remember him saying was, "Where's Joey?"
Yeah. Yeah, he wants to play Joey
Where
for
is he?
some reason. Yeah, I don't know. He likes Joey. I don't know what's going on with that, but
They should set up a money match.
Yeah.
We should.
Yeah.
And matter of fact, stream it.
Yes.
I want to commentate it to where
Yes.
they don't hear me. I want to be there. I will call out of work for that one.
I might.
I'm in.
I might give them.
You know what?
What
We
you call
should.
Joey? Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
it would be a fun match to watch.
Yes,
They're
it
both
would.
really good players, but yeah, I think Eddie just wasn't into it really. I think maybe he just wasn't. His head wasn't into it. Guys, let's go ahead and switch over to talk about some of these matches on the stream because there's some good matches I've been wanting to talk about. We had 15 total matches, so it's gonna be fun to talk about. First round, we had David Anderson beating Jeff Pate 3-0, and we also had Mackie Lowry winning 3-1 against Jonathan Bryant. Pat, let's get your thoughts on those 2 matches first. Like, what'd you think about those 2 matches? Which one kind of sticks out to you? Any thoughts?
I don't remember the Mackey one. I think I might have been playing
I
Nate
think
Frank at that time.
You were playing Nate at that
Yeah,
time.
I was playing Nate, but I did get a chance to see David Anderson and Jeff Pate. I honestly thought that David might have lost the first one if I was going to pick somebody, just
Yeah.
because I know he usually starts off pretty slow, and Jeff's game is usually pretty consistent. I don't usually see Jeff having to build his game up. He
Yeah.
usually comes in where he's going to stay for most of the tournament. But to see him come out and play the way that he did, I was like, oh yeah, my pick solidified. David's winning this tournament today.
Yeah, I think that was definitely the best first round matchup on the board. Brandon, what did you think about those 2 matchups, man? Did you get to watch them? You were kind of playing. At that point.
I was playing Jason at the same time David and Jeff were
Yeah.
playing. I caught literally the very end. When I say literally, I mean David made 2 shots when I walked up and won the match. He made his out ball and then the 8 ball. I called the Jonathan and Mackey match. That was I'll tell you what, Jonathan, I know I would have favored Mackey all day because Mackey's strong. And you asked about 3 players. About who didn't make the money. He would have got an honorable mention from me. Jonathan Bryant's a strong player. He's pretty solid shot. He missed a couple of shots against Mackey that just can't miss. And he left Mackey dead out in a couple of racks. So, but no, he plays a good game, but I still think the better player won.
Yeah, I think Jonathan's a really good player, a really nice guy. I wish that he had the chance to play more. I'd like to see him playing a lot more of our tournaments. I'd like to see him just come around and play more tournaments in general, because he could, I think, become one of the players that gets up there a lot if he was to play more. And Yeah, David and Jeff is just a great first round match. You kind of hate to see that in the first round,
Yeah.
but David winning 3-0 was kind of a shocker. I thought it would be I
Hill
figured-
3-1, something like that,
Mhm.
maybe.
Yeah.
I feel like definitely Jeff could have and should have gotten at least one rack.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, he definitely should have got one. I think. But great first round matchups. I think we started off pretty strong. Second round, we got two good matchups in the second round as well. We get Hank Powell winning 3-2 against Jason Blackwell.
You and I called that one.
Yeah, and
That
then
was
we
a privilege.
yeah, that was a really good match. And then Justin Clark winning 3-0 against Jesse Draper. Yeah.
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 Here, man.
So, Brandon, what's your thoughts on those two matchups? Like you said, you got to commentate the Jason and Hank match. I don't know who commentated my match.
I think Rico did.
Okay, all right.
I think.
I don't remember. Did not look to see who was sitting there. But what did you think about those two matchups?
Jason and Hank was just a nail biter,
Yeah.
and it was great from the minute the first break went until Hank made the final 8 ball. I mean, they both played. That's another match. I think maybe went 4 innings total.
Something like that.
I mean, they were both just running out left and right. I mean, I think, honest to goodness, Jason made the one mistake that cost him the set. And Hank, golly, that guy can play some pool, man. So, no, that was a lot of fun. What we say before the broadcast, matches like this kind of, commentate themselves. We just get to sit here and cheer for them
Yeah.
while they play. That's what that
Absolutely.
was.
Yeah.
And, no, they both played great. They really did. What
Yeah,
are
I
your
think-
thoughts?
Low key, I think that was like my favorite match on the
Mhm.
screen.
It was very underrated. But it also speaks to like the strength of the field. There
Yes.
was not one single bad match on that
Mm-hmm.
stream table all
no,
day.
No, not at all. All 15 matches are pretty strong.
Yeah, I mean we're getting almost hot seat matches.
Yeah.
Semifinals matches in the first and second round that
Mhm.
we're coming into. But it was very nice to watch and learn about Hank Powell and how he plays. Dude, man, that guy's cue ball control is outrageously good. The pace at which he plays it, like when we talked about how his game is very comparable to Jeff Pate's,
Mhm.
it's like it is, but his has a little bit more thump to it.
Yeah.
He's getting to the same spots, maybe even a little bit cleaner, a little bit better than Jeff Pate, which is crazy to say. But dude,
I wouldn't disagree with you, though.
rock solid right arm. That thing is steady, man. Steady, but really, really, really fun match. And I don't know if I've ever seen Jesse Draper play that much either. I think that might have been my first or maybe even second time seeing
Yeah,
him
he
play.
played. I think if I remember correctly, he played in our one pocket tournament.
Okay, yeah, and I was there for all of like 8 minutes, so that
Yeah,
makes sense.
Yeah.
But no, great match. Really, really great match. And then
Yeah.
who was the other one? What was the other match?
Justin and Jesse.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I think Hank and Jason was probably my favorite match to go back and rewatch. But my match with Jesse, I just got to talk about for a second. I feel so bad. I kicked in 3 balls during the match. The very last rack to win 3-0, the very last rack, we have 2 balls left. He plays safe. I kick in the ball, get hooked, have to kick in the next ball. So maybe we get like a little highlight video of that. I'm just throwing that out there to our highlight man over there, Pat. No, it was just like, man, dude, like I could do no wrong in those 3 games. It was like everything just, it was like the gods were like, okay, Justin's winning this match. There's nothing Jesse can do. And, Jesse's just such a nice guy. I just felt kind of bad. I was like, man, like this is like, like this is just crazy. But no, yeah, I think both second round matchups were very good. And all 4 of those guys probably should have been on the winner's side longer than the second round. Which leads us to the third round. We had all the winner's side matches in the third round on the stream table. All 4. So I was kind of actually we have every winner's side match on the stream the rest of the way.
That's good.
Yeah. So the third round, we have David Anderson beating Jeff Abernathy 3-0. Hank Powell beating Alan Profit 3-0. Larry Hughes beating Clay Davis 3-2. And Justin Clark beating Mackie Lowry 3-1. Kind of, I don't want to say upsets, but with the score wise, I feel like seeing a couple 3-0s there was kind of surprising. Pat, what do you think about those 4 matchups, man?
I think the only surprise,
Was Clay missing that ball against Larry
Yes.
Hill? Yeah.
that's the only surprise for me. I think every other match, I won't necessarily say that it went exactly how it was supposed to go with
Yeah.
those 3-0s and things like that. I think this is a very strong winner side.
Yeah, I mean, I think I agree with who won the match. Like, I
Right.
think David over Jeff is probably right, but 3-0,
Right.
wow.
Exactly.
Yeah. that's
Even
surprising.
Hank beating Allen 3-0. I mean,
Yeah.
Allen's proven that he can win, so even that was kind of surprising. And even Justin over Mackey 3-1. Like, if you had told me that wasn't a Hill match, I wouldn't be surprised. So I think those all great matchups.
Right. All of them make sense, and I think Hank Powell versus Alan Prophet. That one's supposed to be like that, but the way that Allen has been playing the last 2 or 3 tournaments tells us it's like he should have at least gotten 1 rack. Just
Absolutely.
because of how he's been playing.
Yeah, it's like now I'm just expecting Allen to make every match pretty tough.
Yeah.
Like, I don't expect him to I don't expect Allen to be getting 3-0'd. Like, the way he's been playing. Brandon, what did you think about those? Did you get to commentate any of those matches?
I don't think I called on one of them. I think
Okay.
I was playing.
Yeah, you
but
were still hustling in the tournament. Yeah.
I went back and just kind of briefly watched some of them. The one that really shocked me the most was Anderson beating Abernathy 3-0.
Yeah.
David winning didn't shock me. Winning 3-0, yeah, big time. That's actually the biggest shocker. I mean, I think Larry beating Clay, period, is a little bit of a shocker, but it did go hill, and Clay did make that mistake to give Larry the match, but at the same time, I have to say I think the Anderson over Abernathy match. Alan Prophet, I'm going to give all the credit in the world to, but Hank was just on a mission that day. I don't even know if it would have mattered who he'd have played because he was so strong early in the day. I thought he was going to win it. I mean, honest to goodness, the way he played in the first 3 rounds, I thought he was going to win it.
I think, Clay missing that ball against Larry was probably the biggest shocking moment of this whole tournament for me, honestly. Like, just because it was almost straight in the side.
Yeah.
And it was just, like, I was already counting that as a win for Clay. And to see him actually make that mistake just proves that he is human. That's really the first mistake we've seen him make in one of our tournaments in probably 3 or 4 events now. So that was just very shocking. And then I'm just going to throw out there, David beating Jeff was a match that was only, it was only 17 minutes and 25 seconds.
Oh, my goodness.
The machine.
The machine.
That is just, holy cow. David was on a different planet during this tournament, I feel like. And it sets up for 2 fantastic Final Four winner side matches. Larry Hughes beating Hank Powell 3-2. And then David Anderson beating Justin Clark 3-2.
I want to talk about that match.
Both matches, Hill, just like they should have been with those 4 players. I mean, Pat, is that the best Final Four winner side we've seen?
I'd have to go back and look, but it's definitely super, super strong.
Yeah.
Particularly, and you know what? If I had to name y'all's match, you versus David Anderson, I would call it Strugglini. Okay? Y'all were missing so many shots.
Yeah.
That normally you're hard at the pocket on them every time. Some cut shots, some straight in shots. I think there was a moment that you missed. I don't know if it was a 5 or a 4, but it was in like the bottom right hand corner. You just kind of waved it off like.
Oh yeah, the 5 ball. Yeah,
it was a 5 ball.
I still don't see how that ball didn't go in.
Man, it was just so crazy. It was just like, okay, who's gonna catch fire first? Is really what that one felt like. Yeah, nobody ever did. It was just that was a match where both of you guys were really just grinding all the way to the finish.
I mean, even me getting weird on the 8-ball Hill was like, okay, that was a shocker. And then he plays safe and leaves me a bank shot. It was like, what is going on right now? I mean, lucky for him, I missed the bank, but it was just like, what just happened?
Right.
Like, I think if we play that match 20 times, that's probably the worst match. Like, and I'm not saying like maybe, if we play 20 times, maybe there's a few in there where it's 3-0 one way or the other, but that's probably the worst match that we both could have played. Brandon, what did you think about those 2 Final Four matchups, man?
Well, you nailed your match with Anderson. It was just, because you both played so well earlier, other than your ridiculous kicks with Jesse. You played great pool all day, Justin.
Yeah.
And then David, self-explanatory. Yeah, it was kind of surprising to see how that went. I thought that was the best match that Larry played all day long.
Agreed. I agree with that.
With Hank. He was just on it. And there's something about watching a fast player when they're on I just love.
Yeah.
Because they're kind of defying the way the game should be. Like, typically, I see a lot of fast players that don't think and they miss a ton of shots. That's not him. Reminds me of a Trey McNeely, but better.
Oh, yeah.
I'll say it.
Definitely better than Trey.
I think so too. And he also plays faster than Trey, which I didn't think was possible.
Yeah, he does. Yeah.
So, I mean, but he was just, I mean, every ball was
Well-
hitting the center of the pocket. I mean, I thought that was the best match he played, and it still went hill.
Yeah, I think first of all, he might not play faster than Trey. Trey just plays more safes. Larry, I don't think played a single defense this whole tournament. But I think maybe this was Larry's best match because this was the only person that he played the whole tournament that he's played on a regular basis. So he's probably just comfortable. You know what I mean? Like he's played Hank a bunch, so it's just like okay, I feel comfortable playing Hank. So he didn't, no nervousness, I guess, or uncomfortableness. It was just okay. One weird little note though, Larry finishes third place in this tournament. His game record, he won 14 racks and lost 13.
What?
Yeah, he only won one more rack than he lost.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So he must have
That's
had a lot
worse.
of
He had a lot of hill
hill
matches.
matches.
Yeah, let's see, he played 6 matches. Played 6 matches. He had 1, 2, 3. Only 3 of them went. So only 3 out of the 6 went to the hill.
That's
Yeah.
an interesting stat.
Yeah, that was a very weird stat, but it was fun watching Hank and Larry play in that Final Four matchup. I like that matchup a lot.
That is a weird stat.
Larry plays like Chacho jumps. Quick.
Yeah,
No
just-
thought.
yeah,
Like,
no.
bow.
No, not at all. They're not thinking about nothing. So next up, we go to the loser side match. We get the 5th, 6th place matchup. Hank Powell beating Jeff Pate 3-0. Okay, Pat, what's your? It seemed like you got a thought on that matchup right away.
I felt like this was Hank's best match all night. Not just because of the score, but how he did it. It was methodical. It was almost a perfect match for him. Almost, and I definitely didn't see. I really expected that one to go hill.
Yeah, I feel like Hank. This was definitely the match where Hank made 0 mistakes.
Yeah.
And you wanted it to go hill. If you look at their Fargos, there's a 1-point difference.
Wow, what are their Fargos?
675 and 676.
Oh wow, yeah,
Yeah, with Jeff being the higher one actually.
that's
Yeah. So Hill was. I thought it would be Hill too. I honestly thought going into that match, I said to myself, that's probably going to be the best match we have on the stream up until that point. Because obviously we don't know what happens after that. But at that point in time, I said, wow, this will be the 11th match on the stream, and it's going to be the best one so far. And it didn't really.
it was a very
But
one-sided.
I don't think Jeff made a mistake. I'm not saying Jeff played bad.
Right,
Just Hank played.
phenomenal.
Determined.
Yes, Brandon. I mean, were you calling this match at this point?
Yes.
Yeah. So what you're impressed with Hank's play?
Jeff did miss 1 or 2 shots that could have made this thing hill or even given himself a game.
Yeah.
He did play well, but I can remember, and because I know Jeff pretty well, I'm very well actually, and Jeff's an honest guy with himself. He'll be the first one to tell you he missed the key shots. Like there was 2 racks in particular that he missed the ball before the 8, and they were easy shots. He just had a lapse of focus. I mean, it was much further in the day, and I guess he was tired. I guess I'm not sure. I mean, it happens to every single player.
Oh yeah.
But overall, Jeff had a great day. But I mean, if you were to ask him on the side, he would tell you he just missed a couple shots because I think he just lost focus. And the worst part is, I mean, he basically left Hank the nuts. I mean, basically a ball in hand shot on the 8 for the 2 racks that Hank ended up getting. That were easy.
Yeah, he definitely. Yeah, I mean, definitely.
But the better player that day, not better player period, just better player that day, because I think Hank just played better than really everybody. And I know that he got 4th place, but he played better than everybody except the people in the top 3.
Yeah.
He really did.
Yeah, I was definitely impressed. I mean, that match just. I mean, I could watch those 2 guys play against each other though a lot. Like it's just fun. I love how they play, which we've already talked about. They play very similar, and I just love watching them play. I could watch them play. I wish that match had been longer than a race to 3. Just
You mean a race to 9 for them?
yes, exactly. Yes, exactly. But
That's Hill.
yeah.
Yeah.
Let's go to our hot seat match now. David Anderson and Larry Hughes. David wins 3-1. Now, neither one of you guys thought Larry would be in the hot seat at the start of the day.
No, I did not.
So, Pat, what's your thoughts on the hot seat match? I thought it was a pretty good match. David again was just still. David still at this point was just playing phenomenal.
Oh yeah, he was still playing lights out at this point.
Yeah, I feel like Larry actually didn't have much of a chance in this match.
If this match would have been 3-0, then I wouldn't have been surprised. Not because of
Yeah.
anything about Damn Dumb, but just at this point of the day, the draw that David Anderson has had. He started off with Jeff Pate.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Battle tested.
Battle all off
Big
off
time.
the rip. You know.
Yeah.
He's already gotten out of his worst match with Justin. He's got that out and came out on top as well. So his confidence has to be through the roof. You know. So I say all that to say I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised that it was lopsided, but I think the surprising thing for me, just because of how well that he was playing all day, was the fact that Larry got one.
I'm just going to go ahead and throw that. Yeah, we're talking about David's draw for this tournament. Like, let's just read them off here really quick because when you actually read them in order, it's impressive. Because I think there's really only one match that I think he's supposed to win.
Yeah.
Like, there's probably some toss-ups that he's supposed to win, but there's only one that he was legit supposed to win. So he beat Jeff Pate. All right, tough matchup. He beats Randy Zegert. Okay, that's probably the one match that David's supposed to win. No offense to Randy, very nice guy, but David's supposed to win that. Then David plays Jeff Abernathy, Justin Clark, Larry Hughes, Clay Davis.
Come on.
Jeez.
Come on.
I mean, this guy, no wonder, if he told me he was super tired at the end of the tournament, I'd be like, yeah, I can see why now.
Yeah.
Like, holy crap.
He's fighting for his life.
Once he actually establishes a Fargo rating, it's going to skyrocket. Maybe because of this tournament.
Yeah, I don't know why yet he still doesn't have a Fargo. He's played in a couple of
played
other
enough
events.
matches.
Yeah,
That's what it's based on.
Yeah, we've tried to. Hopefully he has one now. We tried to fix it, so hopefully he has one. Yeah, David beating Larry. No offense to Larry. Larry's a great player, and he was my dark horse to win the tournament, but not much of a chance when David's playing David's speed.
Their styles favor David as well. If you're a faster player, you don't think so much, and you're more prone to miss.
For sure.
With that
You
style.
are.
And when you do, and you have somebody that's like David on the other side, that's a bad recipe for you.
Absolutely. We go to the fourth place match now. We had Clay Davis beating Hank Powell 3-1. Brandon, what do you think about that matchup, man? You were on the call for that.
I
match. You were on the
was.
call for the rest of them. So
I actually thought that Clay might lose that because Hank jumped out 1-0 fast.
yeah.
And had an honest to goodness. And Hank, I mean, you're an honest guy too. He should have gone up 2-0 and with the break, to win it. But he makes a mistake on, I think it's a 15 ball. I'd have to go back and look. But he ended up making a mistake, and Clay actually played a good safe to give himself an opportunity to get ball in hand. He did. Ran out. Hank breaks and scratches. And then Clay runs that out, and then Clay breaks for the match. And he didn't get out, but I think Hank was, I don't know if he was feeling the pressure of the moment, long day, but he missed a pretty basic shot, and Clay made him pay. And I'll say it takes a little bit of a luck to win this type of tournament.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's mainly skill, of course, because I still think the best player won. I really do. But he got lucky a good number of times on the way, and that was one of them. So, kudos to Clay because he stayed so mentally strong all day. That was a great match to watch. And Rico was on the call with me on that one, and something he and I were saying is when you watch Clay shoot and he's feeling good, is that he can shoot the ball 3 different ways, soft, medium, and hard, and they all go in the same, and he pulls the exact position he needs to. That's when Clay's feeling good. And he felt good from that match all the way to the championship.
Yeah, you could tell Clay winning that match definitely helped his confidence for sure. Pat, what did you think about that matchup, man?
I've got no thoughts on that matchup.
No?
That
All
summed it up absolutely
Yeah,
perfectly.
I think
Sorry to take you.
No, you're fine. That was perfect.
I will say, as many matches that we've had on the stream table and as many great players as we had on the stream table, there wasn't but maybe 1 or 2 matches that were played to the full potential. Like, it was like nobody, like even this match, like we said, like both players, like Hank kind of made a mistake. Like, we never got a match where both guys were really playing perfect, which is crazy with all these great players that we have and all these great matchups. So that was kind of surprising, I think, because like you said, Hank could have won this match. I mean, this was, we talk about Clay winning all these matches hill. Actually winning this one 3-1 was probably the one that was most likely he could have lost if Hank just didn't make 2 mistakes.
Well, what does that look like in the shorter format with 2 players playing perfect? Does that look like hill? Or do we need, to your point, do we need a longer not do we need it, but does it have to be a longer format, a race to 5, a race to 7, a race to 9, in order for you to see both players playing at in their high gear.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because if both players are playing in their high gear in the format that we have right here, okay, first one to get the 3. How
Yeah.
you know?
Oh no, yeah. I mean, it's not the score that really reflects it. It's more so how you get there. Like David playing Jeff Abernathy and winning 3-0. I mean, that match you could say was played perfect, but Jeff never really had a chance. Like, you know what I'm saying? So,
Right.
if you had a longer race there, then we could have seen Jeff play perfect.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it's just a thought that I had where, we never really had a match where, it was just like break and run.
Mhm.
Like, it seemed like every match came down to, okay, who's going to miss that one ball?
Mm.
Like, we never had, like, oh, wow, he draw broke and that was the key. Or like, oh, he, got the wrong balls after the break. It was just every match seemed like it came down to who missed a ball, which is kind of surprising with such great players.
Yeah.
But now we're in the semifinal match, the third place match. Clay Davis beating Larry Hughes 3-1. It was a rematch. Larry had beaten him Hill before. My thoughts are it's going to be hard to beat Clay twice in one tournament, so I feel like Clay winning should not have been a surprise there. Also, Larry, fast player, had to sit down and wait for Clay to catch up in the bracket.
Mm.
Maybe that kind of got him out of rhythm.
I think so.
Yeah, you think so? Okay. Pat, what do you think about that match, man? You were sitting there watching. What do you think about Clay and Larry playing the second time?
100%. I didn't think Clay was going to lose the first time. I damn sure knew that he wasn't going to
Yeah.
lose twice.
No.
Not twice. Again, I think that stylistically, Clay's style is he's got the advantage, especially longer in the tournament, right? So it wasn't surprising to me at all.
No, I agree. I think Clay's style of play fits for a longer tournament than
Yeah.
more so than Larry's. Brandon, what did you think about that matchup, buddy?
Man on a mission. I mean, man on a mission.
Who is he again? Is he Mr. Who?
Mr. Consistent. Clay actually, when it was 2-1, let him back in and didn't finish the match. He left Larry a really long ball where he had to stay kind of straight on, and Larry jawed the pocket. It was a hard shot for anybody. And then Clay hit an incredible cut to win the match.
Yeah.
So, I mean, Clay was just shooting good. When you give a guy like that life, when you have him dead and beat, he's just going to keep going and doing the same thing over and over again. So I was kind of shocked it went 3-1. I thought it would go 3-0.
No,
Honestly.
I mean, I don't think it would go 3. I expect Larry to get out or break and run. I mean, he's going to break. So, yeah, but I think we all agree Clay should have won that match, and he did win that match. Then we get the rematch in the finals from the previous tournament. Clay beating David Hill again. This match I've been ready to talk about.
Oh,
First of all,
Justin, what are your thoughts on this match?
I mean, it goes Hill, and David goes for a shot that I have no idea what he was doing and scratches, and Clay wins. I mean, I really have no idea how you just don't play safe there. Even if you're scared that Clay jumps it in, oh well. I mean, you just take that as a loss and clap your hands and say, great jump shot. I don't think there's no world in which I think you're supposed to go for that ball. I feel like you're supposed to play safe there 100 out of 100 times. And if you lose, you're not going to lose every time from there if you play safe. So you take your chances. I feel like David chose not to take his chance. And I think this just solidifies that. I think Clay is in David's head. I think if David plays anybody else in the finals in either one of these two tournaments that he's gotten second, I think he wins. But Clay just keeps being there, and David just can't get over that, whatever it is. So, yeah, it was a really fun match to watch, though, honestly. Like, I loved watching it. This one was actually probably more fun to watch than their non-ball one at Rackham. I feel like they played better this time than they did at Rackham.
Ooh, that's a tough take.
Man, at Rackham, they made there was a lot of weird rolls. There was a lot of lucky saves or unlucky saves. This one, I feel like they didn't play perfect, but I feel like they were both in control of the table.
Yeah.
But yeah, Pat, what do you think about this match, man? You were sitting there front row.
Fantastic match.
Yeah.
Match of the day for sure.
Oh yeah.
For sure. And it's supposed to go Hill with them every time.
Absolutely.
It's supposed to.
Yeah.
If that would have went 3-1 or 4-1. 5. It was race to 5. If it goes
race to 5, yeah.
20-1, I don't care. 5-1 every time, then that's more of a surprise. That they're supposed to go to the Hill every time. Man, it's so tough. I don't know David Anderson just doesn't strike me as a person who lets somebody live in their head rent free. He doesn't strike me as that guy. He strikes me as a guy who, regardless of the person that's on the other side of the table, he plays the table. And that's why he's so successful. That being said, Clay does seem to have that little extra something over David when they play against each other. So maybe I'm wrong. Maybe he is maybe he's renting a room out in David Anderson's head rent free right now. I do believe that right now, I don't know that I can say that Clay's the better player right now. He's proven it 2 times in a row. Okay. How long this will last, I don't know. I don't know how long this is going to last. If they match up again, I can't definitively say that Clay will win it. Even Hill. I had David Anderson winning this whole thing.
Yeah.
I thought he was going to win it now, but unlike some other players that we've talked about who struggle getting
Brandon
over
didn't
the
even
hump.
have David in his top 8, by the way.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy sauce to me.
Hey,
It's crazy sauce, okay? But unlike
I had to
some,
make it interesting.
you did. But unlike some players that we talked about in previous tournaments that seem to can't get over that certain hump that they have to either get into the money consistently or even win a tournament. Like we've mentioned Ronaldo a few times in this aspect. I don't see this being a monkey on David's back too much longer. He's going to get over the hump, regardless of who it is, Clay or anybody else. It's just a matter of when.
He's the San Francisco 49ers.
There you go. He's C-Mac.
I mean, yeah. Once David gets going, he's gonna. I mean, I hate to keep going back to it as I've said in like 2 of our podcasts before, but I still think he's the best player if he gets going.
Until Liz Taylor moves to Charlotte.
Yeah. No, I think David is just he has the potential to be on a different level more so than probably anybody that played in this tournament, really. And that's no offense to anybody because there are some great players in this tournament. Clay's a great player. David I think maybe has that potential to get to a level that nobody else, the other 31 players don't. So it's going to be fun to watch if it happens this year. Brandon, what's your thoughts on that finals, man?
When Rico and I were calling that match, first off, I totally KO'd because I said if it gets up 4-1, it's over. What do I know? David's just like a champion that he is.
Fought back, man.
I don't care if you didn't win that, David. You're a champion to me.
Oh, yeah.
So when Rico and I were calling that and David was in that opportunity, I said he was lining up to shoot the shot. I said, he's got to play it safe. He's got to play it safe. Rico says, David's probably afraid that Clay will jump it in. I said, you got to make him jump. I don't care. You have to make him jump. I'm going to say this. It might hurt him when he hears this. David, if you had played safe, you'd have won the tournament.
I wouldn't say that definitively, but.
Okay, let me say it this way then. I would have given you an 80% chance.
That probably sounds
man.
right, yeah.
80% is a high number.
Just taking the right shot.
But at the same time, every player always goes back and thinks about that one shot they should have done different. And I'm the last person to criticize David Anderson's game. I wouldn't play him for anything. So, but at the end of the day, it was an awesome match, awesome tournament, 2 great players, and somebody had to lose and somebody had to win.
Oh, that's right.
So, kudos to both those guys. David, it broke my heart to see how that ended for you, but at the end of the day, it was just an awesome tournament, awesome day.
It was a deflating finish there, but yeah, great tournament. Super fun, guys. I had a lot of fun at IRSQ for this 8-ball event. Yeah, I think it was a great way to start the year.
Yeah.
We're going to be having at least 11 events this year, 10 points events, and then the finale. That was point event number 1. Which let's go ahead and get into the point standings because the top 32 point players will qualify for the finale, which will be $2,500 added. Got to be in the top 32. So obviously everybody that was in this tournament is in the top 32. Even the people such as Eddie Little. Sorry, had to get that in there. Even the final 8, they all get a couple points. So everybody gets points. Obviously Clay's in first right now. I mean, just Pat, what do you think about the points, man? And you got a prediction on who you think might win the points?
This is the best thing that we've done since starting the pool series is this point system.
Yes.
It just adds an extra layer of excitement and gives an extra reason for people to come back and consistently play in these tournaments, man.
Yeah.
It kind of gives us something to look forward to and just something else to talk about as the year goes on. super excited to see who gets there at the end of the year.
Yeah, and remember the top 3 at the end of the 10 events get paid as well. So it's not just the top 32 qualify. Brandon, what's your thoughts on the points, man?
I
Do
love
you
the
have like a
points.
prediction on who you might think will win?
Yeah, and I love points events. It
Yeah.
shows consistency.
Yeah.
You know, you're
Gives
not
you-
going to
gives
win.
you a fighting goal.
Yeah,
There's a finish
absolutely.
line, yeah.
Especially when there's 2,500 reasons extra at the end of the year for it.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to say Clay wins the points.
Mm.
I mean when I still think he's the best overall player. Is he going to win every tournament? No. But do I think he's going to be up there enough to take first in the points? Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I think, I feel like it. I mean, my pick would probably be somebody like, it's going to have to be somebody that's going to play in almost every event.
Yeah.
So it probably had to be somebody like maybe David Anderson or Jeff
Mhm.
Pate, and Clay. I think that they're probably going to play in almost every event. So
Pick one.
Oh man, honestly it wouldn't surprise me if it's Jeff Pate.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
He
okay.
plays
Yeah.
every event.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like he's just gonna. I think he's gonna want to win it more than the other 2 guys.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's what it's gonna come down to. There's gonna be like a couple matches here and there where he's just like, oh, the finish line is what I want, not this one tournament. So that'd be right. But yeah, I love the points. I'm excited to see where this goes. Y'all can see the point standings on our Facebook page, by the way. So I'm definitely excited, man. I think it's gonna be a lot of fun to watch, to see what happens with it, and to see it'll also show how many players we have throughout the whole year.
Right.
Yeah, and how many players decide to play in that extra tournament to make the top 32, which will be fun. And right now, the 3 of us are starting off pretty good. I'm in 5th place. Pat, you're in 13th. Brandon, you're in 9th. So
Let's go.
We're all in the top half. So yeah, guys, I guess that's pretty much all we got, man. I mean, Pat, is there anything that we haven't mentioned yet? Or you got any last thoughts?
I do have a last thought, man.
What is your last thought?
Eddie Little, it broke my heart to put your name last on that flyer on the point standings. I almost wanted to just put your name above the next person that's in 25th in the point standings just so you wouldn't be last.
Wow, Cole, you can't do Saul like that, man.
Yeah, Saul.
Yeah.
But no, I think that the Irish Q is going to stand out the rest of the year as a very bright spot in the tour that we're putting on for the pool series. I think there was a lot of animosity is not the right word. Hesitation is not the right word. A lot of unknown from some of the players who've gone to that establishment before and then coming back after a long time and seeing the upgrades that they've done with everything. Fantastic place. So I really can't wait to go back.
Yeah, absolutely. And we'll definitely be back there. Brandon, what do you got? Any final thoughts here, man?
This guy's proof that everybody should come out and play. Now, one thing I love is that every time you post an event, it fills up in like almost a week, or it fills up 90% in a week. So I want to start seeing some different faces, but definitely want to keep seeing the same usual suspects. Love everybody. Love all you guys. So
yeah, I will say we have our next event March 2nd. It's going to be a 10-ball tournament at Smoke and Q. We do got a full field already. And we got 13 new players that did not play in the Irish Q event signed up. So
welcome.
Now they may have played in other past events before, but not in the Irish Q event. So we will have possibly 45 players on the point standings now after this next event. So that'll be very interesting. But yeah, guys, I think this was it for show number 1.
Great way to start the year, guys.
I agree. I agree. Y'all go follow the Pool Series Facebook page, the Pool Series on YouTube. Check out the TPS reports on YouTube. Check out the TPS reports on Spotify. And let me just read our sponsors one more time, just to thank them again because they're so awesome. Deadstroke Media, definitely appreciate you, Pat. John Patera at Remax Metro Realty. We'll see you March 2nd at Smoke and Q. Inkwell Design. We'll be repping the T-shirts next time we do our show. Pool Doctors. Portico Licensed General Contractors. Waiting for Corey to come and play in an event, by the way. Paul Harrison Custom Qs. Also waiting on him to come and play. Alpha Installations. Rhett will be at Smoke and Q March 2nd. See you there.
Good.
RJ Ward Crawl Professionals. Hopefully you can make it out to an event at some point, or at least hang out again. That was fun. And guys, that's it. We'll check you later.
Peace out.
Peace.